people talk about how crippled they are with depression or their anxiety is through the roof for various reasons. And I, I don't want to say I don't understand it, but because I spent the first half of my life being that tired person, that anxious person, that depressed person, and then turning it completely, my whole entire life, just turned it around on my own. I didn't have anyone to lead me. I didn't have until the end a therapist, but that didn't turn out how it should have turned out because they were of no help. And that's what led me on the path of seeking my own help and being my own champion. So it does baffle me that when you get to the point where you are tired and you're ready to just hang it all up, that you don't take that last little bit of energy that you do have and figure it out for yourself. Now, I know that, again, being there, I know how crippling depression can be. You don't want to do anything. You just want to end it all and it's done. But the thing is, depression, anxiety, all of these things are not death sentences. They're not normal. They're supposed to be emotions that we feel to push us. But instead, people are making these ways of living. They're making them ways of being. They're making them these things ways of viewing the world. And that's not what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to stay in these emotions. They're supposed to be temporary to push us in a positive direction. But because the world is the way that it is, people that have these emotional imbalances are living with these crippling things. So today I want to talk about getting out of those mindsets and those feelings. I'll never forget, a friend said that she was diagnosed with bipolar 2. And I said, okay, good. Now we have a name for what it is that you're dealing with. And even though in my mind, I'm like, so-and-so, I know where you're going to go with this. And she did. She took it and ran with it because for the longest time she had been running. She'd been doing any and everything, being a serial entrepreneur, doing so much, but never really finding her own truth and happiness. And this is just another one of those things. Now that she has a name for it, she's giving it life. She's doing things and advocating for it. And I don't want to say not the right way, because she's only going as far as saying you can live with this problem. Yes, you can live with it, but you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to keep it. It's not something that's permanent. It's not. No matter what you're told, no matter what the drugs are making you think that you're being prescribed, it's not a permanent problem. You weren't born with this. This isn't something that's congenital and you just went through life not knowing what it was. No. These things for her developed after she lost her mom, and it became her way. So ever since then, she's just been a completely different person, not the effervescent person that she had been prior to her mom's passing. I say all of that and I use that as an example because too many people are living with depression and anxiety when we're not supposed to. There's no way that this is okay. We cannot continue to say, it's okay to not be okay. It's not. I said this in my book. It is not okay to be not okay because we're giving credence to these negative things. And that's what we've always done that. All of the negative shit that happens in the world, we give excuses for it. Racism, we fight about that. And there are people who say that it doesn't exist. Like, come on, man. We need to take accountability for our own actions and for our own mental health. That's not anything different. We have to take responsibility for making ourselves better. And people aren't. And that's why depression and anxiety is so rampant, because people have normalized it. It's not normal. It's extremely abnormal. We're not supposed to be these people. We're not supposed to be depressed, angry, anxious all the time. They're just defense mechanisms. They're ways of fighting or flighting. They're various things that they are, but the one thing that they're not is permanent. They're not crippling, and people are making them disabling. Now, Another friend that I love dearly is the same way. She has these mental health issues. There again, depression, anxiety, and that's it. So when I asked her what it could be coming from, she has no clue. It's just that she's been feeling that way for so long, it's become normal for her. And that's not good. If a person can't even voice why they're depressed, but they've just been depressed for so damn long, it just seems like normal for them, that is a huge problem because this person no longer lives a normal life. She's very active physically. She, in the community, doing things, helping people, and so forth and so on. Now, it's like trying to pull teeth out of a shark's mouth, trying to get her out of the house. It's easier to take your ass down to the damn ocean, find Jaws, and play with that motherfucker than it is to get her ass out of the house for 5 goddamn minutes. That's horrible. It's horrible. There are so many people out there like that. There are so many people who are living miserable lives and don't know why they're living miserably. They're also making the people that are around them, that love them, that are trying to help them, miserable as well. So now we have a domino effect. We have other people who are attached to these people who are depressed, anxious, whatever, that are now feeling these ways because they think that it is normal, depending on who the person is that they're getting this contagious disease from. It's not really contagious. It's just, I got to put the disclaimer out there sometimes because people just really are irky. There's no way for these people to be living like this. And if a person is in an environment where a person is living that way and they look at this person and say, well, maybe that's the way I'm supposed to be, then they start living a depressed, anxious life. That's why we have so many people that are emotionally fucked up right now. The number is increasing, and that's the wrong direction. It's supposed to be going down, but the numbers are steadily increasing. And that is a telltale sign that that in itself is a pandemic. There are people all over the world who are living these kinds of lives. So what do? We try to help people understand. The first thing is that these aren't, as I always say, death sentences, because people will go through their lives on these heavy tranquilizers. They know that they're not living normally, but they have had to convince themselves that they're living normally. We will put the effort into making our lives easier to live with a very negative, low vibrating thing, as opposed to putting that same exact energy, maybe less, into thinking differently, changing our perspectives, our paradigms, and doing what makes us happy. People who are depressed can't even do something that makes them happy because they were depressed through that whole process. It could be something that used to make them just elated, just the happiest person they could ever be. And now that same exact thing no longer brings them happiness. That's not any way for a person to live. This life is meant to be lived in full joy and happiness, surrounded by love. None of us are living in that. That's not what God intended for us. God wants us to be happy. Everything that happens to us happens for us. It may be hard to, I guess, break that down. Like, how in the hell can something negative be for us? Well, that's the thing. There's lessons in every single thing that happens to us. If a person is going through something that they keep going through, obviously you haven't learned the lesson. I've mentioned this before, where you're constantly tested and quizzed, just like when you were in school. And that's how the universe figures out where the fuck you are. If you keep failing these goddamn tests, then the lessons are going to get harder because you're not absorbing that information. So what the fuck does the universe have to do? Beat you in the head until you get it. So we can't keep blaming God or the universe and all of these things, but these entities, these omniscient entities at that, are much grander than we are. We blame them for our issues, our sadness, our depression, our anxiety. We blame everything else but ourselves. We don't take accountability or we don't find the strength to put into healing ourselves. We choose to be sad and depressed and all of these bad things. We choose that shit. We really do choose our own paths when it comes to these things. We choose to be these things. Like the first person I told you about, she's choosing to live with Bob. Okay. Then I'm happy that you have a name for it. But I'm definitely not happy that that's what you're choosing to do. But it's your life. I'll still be here and I'll show up to your friend. Other than that, I can't support any of the things that you're doing to give that bipolar 2 life. I'm not supporting that. That's not what a support system does. A support system doesn't feed the problem. They'll kick their friend's ass into the right position and the right play. That's what a good support system does. So, of course, we've lost contact and lost touch. Meanwhile, from what I understand, she's had a lot of medical issues since. She's had all kinds of things happen. Doses of medication that she's on are pretty heavy. Nothing got better. She thought, she was like, finally, now I have a name for it. I know what I need to do and I can navigate with that. And I told her in the beginning, no, can't. You have to navigate out of it, not through it. It's a difference. We can get through anything. But when you're trying to accommodate this illness and changing your entire life for that, you can't put that same energy and make those same changes for your life to get rid of it. So that's what going through it is. Going through this is making the adjustments. Getting away from it and out of it is changing the entire situation. So we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure out what people need, because obviously a shit ton of fucking tranquilizer medication isn't what people need. It may help to keep people off ledges and bridges, but at the same time, they're just sitting on the side of these ledges and bridges, not jumping. They're just sitting there thinking about it. Oh, great. But they're still sad and depressed. What's to say that they won't take that hurdle? We need something that's more impactful than just fucking tranquilizing a person all the time. That's not what gets people where they need to be. It changes a person. It brings about more illnesses. Like we already know. We see the commercials all the time for all of these drugs. The side effects are worse than the damn illness. It's ridiculous. So let's get out of that mindset. Let's go back to how it was back in ancient times when they dealt with mental health problems. They always went to a spiritualist, whatever that was, a shaman to them or a tribe leader, whatever it was, a person that could lead them in the right direction, a person that could advise them. We can see therapists all day long, but we still have homework to do. So until we do that, we're going to be the society of low vibrating individuals. It's so sad. Again, being that person, I was able to take that energy that I had trying to figure out what was wrong. And then my next step was to take it into fixing it. I've always been that person. I've always been a fixer, though. I don't have time for the details. Tell me what the problem is. Let's fix this shit. The end. And then everybody's happy. We move on. I've always been a problem solver. So it was easy for me to transition to, okay, now I know I have a problem. Let me just fix the shit because I don't want the problem anymore. And that's how it should be. It's easier said than done. Yes, I get it. It's always easier said than done. However, it's subjective. If we think that conquering depression is going to be like climbing Mount Everest, then go climb Mount Everest. Tell me which one you would rather do. We make shit hard for ourselves. Our perspective shouldn't have to be, or shouldn't be at all, that conquering depression or anxiety is insurmountable, because it's not true. It's only true if you make it true. So when people say, I'm tired, I'm just ready to be done with everything and blah, 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 why? Because you haven't lived yet. What do you mean you're ready to be done with everything? You have a couple problems here and there, and your world is over? You haven't been through half the shit that a lot of people have been through on this planet. And these little bit of things that keep happening, just because they keep happening back to back to back, look into why they're happening. Are you weak? Then you need to get strong. And that's what the universe is trying to tell you, because what's happening now is real shit. And we need strength for that. We all need strength for that. And we all have to be in the right mind frame for it as well. Heart frame and everything. So, what do we need to do, people? What do we need to do to get these loved ones of ours who are sad and depressed and possibly suicidal? What do we need to do to get them back to some normalcy? What do we need to do? People always say, I don't know. And you're like, you do know. There's got to be something that makes you happy. And then when the person figures that out, oh yeah, there's this. Okay, great. What do we need to do? Well, I don't have. They come up with the excuses. Why? You're using beautiful time that we can't get back, wasting beautiful energy to come up with these excuses as to why you can't get to that happy point or find that happiness, that thing that makes you happy, but you can't have it or can't get to it or get it, whatever it is. Instead of making the excuses, make a plan to get there. It's all about what we do. It's all about our own responsibility, holding ourselves accountable, promising ourselves that we'll do this. It's not about anybody else. It's not about what a parent or spouse or child for that matter. It doesn't matter what any of them want. Because if you're not a whole person, you can't be a whole person to them. It just doesn't work that way. Even when you try to feign happiness and totality, it comes out in your actions unconsciously. It comes out in your words. It comes out everywhere, energetically. Everything is energy, but it comes out in many different ways. It's not only about you, it's about people that love you. So if you love those people, do it for them as well. Whatever you need as that push, whatever you need to convince yourself to be a better person, then do it, whatever it is. And then maybe you'll make it to that point. Or, and these are just examples. There are plenty of people out there who are depressed for many other reasons. Some are depressed about their weight, but yet they keep eating or eating the wrong things. There are people who are depressed that they don't have a significant other, but they keep inviting in individuals that aren't vibrating high. They keep bringing in those same types of individuals that are vibrating on their level, which then makes them even more sad and depressed. And it's just a horrible cycle. There are reasons why people are. That's just details. The bottom line is we need to fix. We need to fix. And this is a multi-cast discussion because it's too rampant. Like anger and depression and anxiety, all of these things are running wild through our communities and society. It has no leash. It has no adjustment button. It's just running wild and it's affecting everyone in some way, whether it's yourself that's going through it or someone that you love, but it's affecting everyone's lives. So we need to work on that. We need to work on it from the sufferer's position, and we need to work on it from the support system position, because support systems, they're only as effective as the person that's suffering will allow. So if a person that's suffering doesn't want help, then a support system can only do but so much. They can't force the sufferer to do anything that they don't want to do. But at the same time, it's like you're watching a person just dissolve in their own problems. They're succumbing to things they're not supposed to succumb to. It's like backwards. We're supposed to be strong. We're made that way. Our brains are a powerful thing. We can heal ourselves from depression and anxiety. We can get rid of it and block it so that it doesn't affect us in the future once we've made it out. Like, it's a very simple process that we've made extremely difficult. So if you're really at the bottom of this and you're like, I have nowhere else to go, I cannot get any more depressed than I am, and I feel like I'm tired, I'm ready to give up, You have to want to be better. You have to want to be stronger than those things. If you are depressed and it's crippling, where you just want to just lay under your covers for the rest of your life, knowing that you can. If you have kids, you have a household to run, things like that, you can. And it just makes you more depressed because that's all you want to do, but you have to do these things. And it's like something else that you're being forced to do. Like, I get it. I've been there. But move that to you. Move all of that strength that you give to everyone else, all of the energy that you put into trying to accommodate everyone else. Put that into you. It's okay to take a break from being everyone else's everything. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay to take some time out for your own self-care. So do that. And during that time, you heal. You heal for good.